everyone. This should be a really quick episode because I don't have much to show, quite honestly. But what I have to show is pretty marvelous, so stay tuned to see what's in store. Me too. So, I think we're going to start this all over again. Here we are a couple minutes in, and let's try this all over again. Hopefully I'm not going to take too long. Sorry, guys. Take 4.
Hello everyone, welcome to Knottyyarnies. My name is Barb and welcome. If you're new here, I welcome you and I hope you consider hitting the subscribe button if you enjoy what you see. If you're a returning viewer, I really welcome you back. Greatly appreciate it always. And that's coming right from my heart. So I really, truly appreciate it. Wow. I like to repeat a lot of words today. Today I decided to cover up my little pipsqueak birdie. It's a zebra finch. She's like this tiny, but I tell you, you might have heard that. She's covered up as much as I can because it's so bright and sunny here in Ontario today that she's going to be peeping like crazy. So if you hear her a little bit, that's nothing compared to what her usual antics. Okay, so she likes to peep a lot. So, and you might hear my little dog. He's down here chewing his bone, minding his business. He's being a good boy. And the other one, the big guy's outside. So it's beautiful today. It's supposed to go up to 20 degrees Celsius today. It's April the 7th and it's 20 degrees Celsius outside. Yeah, as I said, it's April 7th. It is a Wednesday. I wasn't planning on recording today. I had this headband across my head today, and it's probably all, you know, when you wake up from your pillow and you have that side crease on your face. I feel like that is happening on my forehead from my headband. I wear headbands around the house because I get pressure headaches from the environment. So if it's going to rain, or if it's going to snow, or if it's going to even let up, the air pressure changes. It doesn't really matter if it's even going to be a cloudy day, whatever. I wear that around my head to keep, it just helps my head feel a lot better. You don't need to know that, but just explaining sometimes why maybe I'm a little bit late with podcasting. I might be having an off day, and I'd rather not record if I'm not in a really good mood, because I always like to be in a terrific mood to podcast. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. How's everybody's mal going? Your crochet along, knit along? Is everybody in on it? I hope you are. If not, I wanted to say thank you for making the hashtag. I had someone, and while I'm talking, I'm just going to make sure I look it up because I want to make sure to thank the person. I said her name so many times. If you know me, it's not that I forget who you are. It's just that I'm very terrible at remembering stuff. I was going to say another word, but I'm terrible at it. So I would like to say a big, huge thank you to Crisscross Crafts on Instagram. Chris is K-R-I-I-S Cross Crafts. And she's here in Ontario as well. And I'd like to say a huge thank you. And I hope it's okay that I give you a shout out, because she went ahead and made a hashtag for me on Instagram called hashtag Barb's Turning 50. So 50. Mal, M-A-L, 2021. I'll put that up on the screen here so you can follow that hashtag, and you can do your thing on Instagram, or I think even if you hashtag on Facebook, it all links together somehow. I'm not sure how that all works, but hey, it's amazing that you did that for me. Thank you so much. And I've been following along and commenting, and I'm not even big on Instagram, but I really try to get in there. So especially while this whole mal is going on, I want to stay focused and comment too and do my couple hours of my make-along. So if you don't know what the make-along is, I'm not going to describe every part of it. Just go back and look for my video 2 weeks ago that explained everything you need to know, except it didn't have the hashtag in it. So make sure to write that hashtag down. And yeah, just make a sweater, shawl, or blanket, knitted, crochet, sewing, whatever it is you do, and work a little bit on it for the next 50 to 60 days. And there is 2 draws. One is in 50 days from the last video, and one is in 60 days from the last video. Why 50 and 60 days, you ask? Because in 50 days from that last video is my birthday, so that draw will be May 19th, and that will be the first prize. And then the second one will be in 60 days, which will be my 1-year podiversary. So that's going to be the second. So you do not have to be finished. I appreciate if you're more than halfway through. And if you started at less than halfway, then I would like you to finish. So yeah, here we go with this podcast anyway. So let's talk about this gorgeousness right here. This was gifted to me, the pattern, by Jen over at Jen Bug Handmade Crafts. Hello, Jen. And oh my gosh, I just couldn't put it down. If you watch me, you know on the last podcast that I recorded, which was 2 weeks ago now, I apologize, I've been busy. You'll see why later. Anyway, I couldn't put this pattern down until I was finished. Honest to goodness. Like if you've seen it the last podcast, I had this much done. There was like nothing done. To go from that to a completed shawl, and I've been done this since before Easter weekend. I swear I did it in 1 week, maybe even less. So this is called the Blueberries and Cream Shawl. You can get it over on Ravelry. I'm not sure where else. You could of course just Google the pattern name and it may come up other places. And also follow Jen over on Instagram at Jen Bug Handmade Crafts, and let her know that Barb sent you and that you've seen her gorgeous shawl. I'm wondering if I should just stick a photo. I'll take photos after this podcast, and I'll put a photo up here of the completed shawl laid out for you. It is so fun. She has on hers pom-poms on the end, and I was going to do fur pom-poms on the end of mine. That's what I was gonna do, and I still may, because like some nice maybe fox color or tan color or something like that. But then I did a knot in one and I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. I love it. So it's kind of like a pom-pom from the actual project. I loved the way that worked up. So here it is.
Oh, I'll have to pause for a second. Okay, you're done. Whiskey, get down. Come on, they're gone. You scared them away. Good job. Okay.
Sorry about that, guys. He likes to bark and somebody's getting a package. It ain't me. I haven't ordered. Well, yes, I did order something, but it's coming from China, so it will be a long while, and I didn't know it was coming from way over there. I probably would have ordered it closer to me because I'm excited to get it, and it says the end of May. I hope I get it in time for my birthday. But anyway, here is the shawl. Like, it is like really a beautiful size. Now, I thought of something afterwards. I started making this, and I remember telling you guys I'm not a fan of crescent shawls. Well, this might have changed my mind, honestly. It really, really did. The only thing I think I'm doing something wrong with the garter or the starting point. I'm not sure what you call that up there. It's really puckering, and I'm not sure what I did wrong. So maybe it'll come out in blocking. I haven't blocked it yet, but it's acrylic yarn, so it shouldn't really change a whole lot. So thank you so much again, Jen. I really appreciate it, and I so love it so much. I'm going to be making another one. It's made with DK yarn, and I wrote this down. Where did I write it down? Oh, I used Lion Brand's Ferris wheel in the colorway of Java, and I used 5.5 millimeter needles and 32-inch cord. They were my Addy Rocket Squared, the interchangeable set. Now, I would have put it on. I have a lot. If you follow me, you know I have a lot of cables. And if I was going to show it on the podcast while I was still working it, I have enough cables that I can connect together to show the project. So it's not all scrunched up on 32-inch needles. But I didn't have to do that because I finished it with lots of time to spare. So I don't know why I haven't really steam blocked it yet, but I've been busy. I'll tell you why. So that was that. Now the next one is, I'll have to insert a picture here because they were already gifted. Somebody fell in love with them and wanted them. It was a test crochet again. So I test crocheted for Terry's Creations, and she's got a hat as well, pattern to match this. I'm not sure if the pattern's out yet. It was, we had to have our testing in by yesterday, and so I'm hoping that she has it out by later this week before this goes up. So fingers crossed it's okay that I shared that with you. So I used Karen Simply Soft in a very, very, very pale blue, which looks white in the photo, and then the pale blue, like a baby blue type color. Sorry, I forget what the colorway was. I don't remember. And yeah, it was a really fun crochet. I messed it up a few times, but really, you can't go wrong. Like with if you know all the different stitches and things, you can't go wrong. As long as you're going by length, and it worked out fine. So it was a fun crochet. Always love testing. So those are my FOs. So FOs are finished objects. I have lots of WIPs that I have not touched this week because I've been a busy person. And yeah, I've been doing some spring cleaning, and I've been doing some yarn dyeing, and I've been working on my mal a lot, and of course that shawl. So the shawl was first, and then I started the mal, and yeah, because I didn't start the mal until after the shawl was done, so I just started that day the mal when I was done the shawl. So it must have been, the shawl must have been done before March 30th. So I must have finished it on March 30th morning, maybe the afternoon, and then started in the evening with the mal. So for knit WIPs, oh my gosh, I forgot the name WIPs. So for WIPs, and my knit WIP, there's only going to be 2 WIPs. I know, that's all I really was working hard on the shawl and the mal, so I worked a little piddle here and there on these two, on this project between this and the mal, because I didn't do anything else. So when I got tired of crocheting, I wanted something to knit, and when the shawl was done, I grabbed my Musselburgh hat that I was working on the last podcast. So I'm using the, what is it called? Premier Yarns Wool Free Lace in color Lilac Dreams. It's got some sparkle red in there. And the Musselburgh, oh, I don't have a picture of it, but here is the where I am. Here's where I was when I podcasted last, and I did all these rows since. All those rows. And that's fingering weight yarn, like #1 yarn. So that took quite a while, but I really love it. I'm doing on Magic Loop ChowGoo's 2.5 millimeter needles. I wish I was using a 3 millimeter set of needles, but my chow goos only go up to 2.5 right now. I am looking to purchase the set that goes from 2.75 millimeter up to 10 millimeter. But I can't do that until after my birthday, until I get maybe some money from my family for my birthday. So that's the Musselburgh by Solda Teague on Ravelry. And right now, if you go to the Crazy Sock Ladies podcast, under her video in her show notes, she's got a coupon code to get the Musselburgh hat for, I think it's 15 or 20% off, maybe even 25. And it's regular $8 in the country where she is. And so it's regular over $10 Canadian. So with 25% off, I believe it was 8 something by the time you bought it. So that's that. So the next thing is my mal. Oh my gosh. So as I told you, I was probably going to choose the blanket Afghan that the Crochet Crowd had going. And what I failed to tell you is that it's not like I'm doing my mal and then going to jump in and make something just so I could win a prize somewhere else. He's not having prizes that I'm aware of. He said that it's just for fun. So that's why I want to do it. And the most important reason why I do his crochet alongs is because I love to learn from them. So I watch his videos. Even if I know what the instructions say, I get so many tips and tricks from him, from his videos. So that's why I do his crochet alongs. Every single time he does a crochet along, I learn at least one thing. And what more can you ask out of a crochet along, right? Is when you learn something, because he does the videos to accompany. That's a lot of work. A lot of work. Like, just to podcast, you're sitting there, the length of time you're podcasting, it takes about 4 to 5 to 6 times the length of time to upload it by the time you edit and everything else. And that's not including the time to set up and take down and find all your items and write down your, your list and do your show notes and everything. It takes time. It takes a whole day out of, to do everything that you need to do. So imagine how Mikey is, all the things he's got to do in order to get ready for a crochet along. That's why I admire him, because he just works like a bugger, like non-stop working. So if you've seen the crochet along that he's doing, it's called In with Joanne's, and it's called the Puff Stitch Afghan, something like that. Puff Stitch. It's the Puff Stitch Daisy Afghan. Let's just call it that. Puff Stitch Daisy Afghan. And in the middle, there is a rectangle, and it has all kinds of daisy puff stitches in it. And then on the outside of that, for week 2, you're doing like 18 squares, and it's got like daisy flowers in it all the way around. And then there's a border. It's beautiful. One of the versions has, I think, 4 or 5 colors in it, but then he has another one that's 2 color, and that's the one I chose. The 2 color has one that's a neutral color, and the other color is a variegated color, and it pops. To me, it pops, and it looks like way more than just 2 colors in it, because it's variegated. But it looks, to me, that looks more subtle, and it looks amazing to me. So I'm trying. He has it where he puts out the video on the Monday, and then the next Monday is week 2. But because I'm trying to spread it out over 50 to 60 days, I'm trying to make sure I'm not working too fast on it. So I'm not done the week 1 in that week. I want to make sure I do each week about a week and a half. That should set me about right. So I'm working 2 to 3 hours a day on it. So that's exactly what I asked, was to work a little bit each day. Doesn't have to be 2 or 3 hours. You could be faster than me. You could have something smaller than me as a project. You could have something less detailed than me that takes a less time. So this is how far I got. None of my ends are woven in, because I still have 5 more daisies to make this week. And if I finish them by Friday, I'm on track. So here is, where am I? Here is the rectangle so far. Let's see. There we go. And here it is up close. So that's the center rectangle, and there's going to be squares that go all the way around, and then you got to like block this first and then attach all the squares once you get the 18 squares done. So what I'll probably end up doing, there's 18 squares, I'll probably try to do 2 a day. So that's 9 days, which is falls right into place with my week and a half, and then take maybe about 4 or 5 days to sew that all together. And so make sure to spread the time out. So that is what I've been busy working on, and I am using the gray is Pound of Love in just a gray, and then the red is just Fentex worsted, and this is, I don't even know if the color is still around. It was an older color I bought 3 of because I wanted to make sure I made an Afghan with it. Called Mirakek. Mirakek? I don't know if you'll see that. Sorry, it's so close up, so it's so close up it's shaking, so I don't know if you've seen that, but that's mine. And I've been doing the hashtag and been showing it on the Facebook group, and been showing it on Instagram, and anybody that private messages me and lets me know what they're doing, I usually send them photos to let them know how it's going. So I'd love to see all your works in progress on your Barb's Turning 50 Mal 2021. Please don't hesitate to private message me at any of the places. Whoops, in the down arrow, all my information is down there where you can find me. The only thing I don't really use is the Ravelry. I only use that for my projects. I don't look at messages or anything like that, so please don't try to reach out to me there. You may follow me there, that's fine. Let's see what else is on the docket for today. Not the only other thing. I got in the mail I forgot to show 2 things last time, so none of this stuff was from today. But I got in the mail, which I ordered from Whimsy and Sassy on Instagram, Whimsy and Sassy on Etsy as well. I'll try to remember to put the name up here. I ordered some stitch markers I seen on Instagram, and I was like, oh, Barb needs those. So they come in a pretty little sachet. And in the sachet is cards, and on the card, the first one is the reason why I ordered, was just to get this little Tim Hortons stitch marker. This is going to take a minute. Oh my goodness, come on. Let's see. Maybe if I put it on my hand. You know what? I will insert pictures because it's just not focusing and it's not going to do it any justice. So the one says, I don't always crochet. Oh wait, yes I do. And then one says, knit happens. And then there's the Tim Hortons mug, coffee mug. And then she sent me a St. Patty's Day 4-leaf clover, which was very kind. So thank you, Whimsy and Sassy. That was so fun. So I got those in. I guess I should just put these in later. Okay, we'll just put these in. These took a little bit longer than I thought, seeing they came from Ontario. I thought they would be here in like a matter of a couple days, but it actually took 2.5 weeks to get to me. So yeah, there's that. So that's how slow Ontario's shipping is going, from one city just to another and taking 2.5 weeks. That was crazy. So last time I showed you some yarn, and then my husband came home early, and then I forgot to show it all. I was like, oh my gosh, I got off and was uploading, and I seen the skeins sitting there. And I'm like, I forgot to talk about those colors. So I did some dyeing some yarn. I have lots of yarn to tell you about and to show you, but what I'm going to do after I'm done filming here, I'm going to take you outside to my drying racks, and I'm going to show you all the yarn, but I'm not going to talk about any of it. I'm just going to show you how many there are, and if you're interested in seeing any of it, or me telling you how I maybe did some of it, I will do a separate video. So I will be doing that separate video this afternoon, and like editing and uploading it at the same time. So if you're seeing this, check out or keep an eye out for the next video, which is going to be with all my dyed yarn. And just so you know, it's all cotton yarn. So if you're interested in learning how to do hand-dyed cotton and what I used and how I did it, I'm just explaining it because I did it over the weekend, and I didn't want to have people in and out and the dogs barking and everything else in the background while I was recording how to do it. So I just decided I'm going to do one video, explain what I did, and if anybody has questions, they could ask me below that video. So I'm not going to talk about it here, but I wanted to show you these two colors that I did 3 weeks ago. So these are cotton as well. Now this first one here is this beautiful, beautiful colorway. This reminds me of lemonades, pink lemonade, yellow lemonade, and then the green, like this leaves from the lemons. Oh my gosh, I just love it. Like, this to me screams spring, and I just love it. So what I did with these are tie-dyed. So I just used tie-dye for these, and I hand painted, and then I left the yarn there for 24 to 48 hours to set, and then I washed it out, hung it to dry, and here it is. But my next colorway I find turned out more saturated. Look at those blues, the purple, the teal. Oh my gosh. I just love this colorway as well. I love purple, and I find it fun that the purple's even in there. I started with just blue and red food coloring, and not food coloring. Food coloring doesn't work on cotton, just so you know. Tie-dye, red and blue tie-dye, and I hand painted it. And what I did differently, why I think this is so saturated more than the other, is for a couple reasons. One, I think it's because I heat set it. So I put it in my steamer basket and I heat set the colors. I'm not sure where my video stopped, so I will just say start from where and cut it off if I'm overlapping. So as I hope I was saying, these I did use tie-dye and just two colors, blue and red, and I think that's why the purple came out. These are more saturated, I think, because I heat set it in my steamer basket over the stove for 30 minutes, and then I washed it and dried it after that. And also I think maybe because there's two colors in there, and maybe they're more of a saturated color, that's why they're so deep, and I did completely rinse until the water was totally clear. Now, just so you know, if you ever get, say you were to purchase yarn that somebody had tie-dyed and made, and you ordered it through Etsy or something, and you get it home and you're knitting or crocheting with it, and then you wash that item, please hand wash that item first, especially because your water, the pH in your water could be totally different than the pH in the person's water that made it. And when they rinsed it out, the color was, or the water was totally clear for them, but might not be for you because it's changing the pH, the water, your water. It might be a little bit harder or something. So it might change. I don't know the chemistry behind it all, but it just might bleed out a little bit more for you. And oh, and for cotton yarn, you use salt. So I soaked it for 12 hours. So overnight, I soaked it in rainwater. I only use rainwater to do my dyeing, and salt. So I use non-iodized salt and rainwater to soak it for 24 hours, and then I proceed to dye. And it was such fun. So I have a lot more like this. Most are not tie-dyed, most are other ways, but there are a couple that are tie-dyed in the next batch as well that I'll talk about in my next video. So if this kind of thing interests you in learning more about it, I will talk at length in the next video. So if you're that way, only people that are interested in it are going to be watching it, and they can stop it, fast forward it, or not watch it even, and that's fine. So that's it for me, guys. A very, very short one for me today. I think I babbled a little bit too much in there. I will try to cut a lot of that babbling out. I hope I didn't lose too much of when my camera stopped. It stops recording after 30 minutes for some strange reason. The battery won't die anymore because I've got that cord hooked up, and that's perfect, but I haven't been able to figure out why it shuts off after 30 minutes. So if I don't keep an eye on it and I get chatting with you and I forget all about stopping it and then starting it. So I try to remember, but I'm glad my birdie is actually doing really well. And the dog's laying and he's sleeping after he chewed his bone and everything. So all is well in our house. So I'm going to stop this, and then I'm going to go show you the yarns outside and give you a tour of that. And if that interests you, please look for the next video and watch that if that interests you at all. If not, fast forward, just check out the colors. Like, I will have another video. Well, actually, I think it'll be the same video. It's hanging to dry right now, but what I'll do is I will pause it after I take that video, and I will insert it on this video, but I'll also insert it on the next video and then show you them all twisted up into hank forms. So until next time, everybody, and hopefully I'll have way more to show you next time, but it's hard to say because with spring here, there's so much to do around the house and so much to do with the mal, and I try to get a happy balance. So I work on the mal for a little bit, I do some household chores, I do some outside stuff, try to get my exercise in there, and yeah, so much to tell you, and I feel like I don't want to say everything all at once. So take care, everybody, and I hope you're having a great springtime. I hope everybody that celebrates had a happy Easter, happy Passover. I think Ramadan's coming up, so if that's for you, I hope that turns out wonderful for you. And yeah, so take care, everybody. Until next time, keep on being naughty. You got it. And please join in the mal. I'd love to have you. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey, everyone. So I'm outside here, and here is my rack I have outside under my carport, so it's not in direct sunlight. And I have all my hand-dyed yarns that I did. All, like I said, it's all, let's see if I can get it. It's all cotton and all different colors. rocks, and I dyed it different ways. You'll see some speckles. You'll see some that have like twisted. You'll see some that are more solid. Some like different shades. It's really like, so I spent I don't know how much time, so I've got racks and racks here to tell you about. So if that at all interests you, watch the next video and I'll talk more about it once this all dries. Bye guys.